What's up? I want to make one more video just for the hell of it before I head out the door. Just out of the blue, I'll wear this one when it's raining outside. Or if I got, work to do, because it's fake. It's leather instead of alligator. But it's coated in my other hat is real snakeskin. And, shit, getting wet and drying out. It's really hard on it. Just sweating. So, I'm wearing this one there. This is my rain. This is my Jimmy. I want to pull a couple cards. But first, I wanted to talk about the fads. So, like the tiny house fad. That's cool. At the same time as it's easy to go overboard one way or another, and one finds out it's not so easy. And there's times where it'd almost be easier if you were just had a suitcase and somewhere to stay. And instead, you ain't got nowhere to park, and you have to drive to there. But it's going to cost you $40 to get there. But you could just go like this, and you'd be there, and might have to wait a couple hours. Not that I probably only hitchhiked twice in my life, and that was a long time. That was like a teenager. If you need a ride fucking shows up. It seems. If that's all you need, then it's gonna arrive. Well, so like in my tiny house experience, it was the best and the worst of all those worlds. Because I only had my bus outside of a hotel. But I didn't use the hotel room except for to take a shower, so that was nice. Though I had a shower in the bus, but the water system wasn't hooked up. So I could come inside, but that's inconvenient, but it's convenient. I worked at the job 24 hours a day, but I could go out to the bus anytime I want to. But the phone barely reached to there, and even though it's in the parking lot, who wants to walk after running, it takes a minute, at least a minute, to be like, okay, and then you go to the front door, you walk across the parking lot, and then you walk across, halfway the width of the building, and then to the lobby. Every time somebody's like, hey, I need to make a reservation. Oh shit, hold on. So having everything and nothing, having the stability of, if I needed to, I could, but the cats couldn't come in, and they got stuck with me. They're like, it's not like I started collecting cats. Those are for the kids, but I got the cats because they were the expensive part, I guess. It's a lot easier to have kids because people pay attention to them, and I don't know. Anyway, and then it had a brand new gas grill in it, but the propane tank, the last person who took it out, backed into something or whatever and busted off where the propane goes. And I had the new fixtures, the new fittings for that and all, but I never got the stove hooked up. The power, well, the power just ran. It did have a good electrical box. There was an electrician that had it on a circuit breaker and shit. And that was set up well because there was LED lights that were very low power, and I got an extreme battery made for, that had, it was a badass battery. I think that was one of the only things that I put into that other than insulation. It didn't do any freaking good. But I put a really good battery because I'd plug it in. I'd have to plug in the battery and then to a jumper cable, and then plug it into an outlet for 6 to 8 hours. So, once a week on Sunday, Monday, I'd hook it up and plug it in. At the end of the day, I'd put it up, and then I'd have lights for minimum of 1 week of every night once the sun went down to sit and just to have light. And that worked out pretty good. I think the lights would last up to maybe 2 weeks, if it was like summer months. You're only using them 3-4 hours a night at most. So that was cool. And then it had a generator, but that didn't work the whole time I had it. And I got it running as soon as I was getting ready to sell it. But in a way, I'm kind of glad that I went without that, because the generator wasn't really going to run that much extra. And for the most part, I can have the bus plugged in. Because I could plug in the regular power, and at night run a TV. There was a big screen on the wall. Run my laptop. Run the mini fridge. And just those basic things. They take a lot of power, but you only need them for a little bit. I didn't have a microwave in the thing. I just used a microwave inside the hotel, But imagine on the road. Oh, and then my heater's in there. Like I had 2 propane heaters and 1 electric. And so then I could run the electric one only when it was plugged in or whatever. But, for the evening, for just a couple hours a day, like it was my office, it was a pretty good setup. It'd suck when I'd wake up in the morning and the Schwann's guy would show up in the middle of the night and unplug my power to plug in his. And of course, there wasn't enough power things around that hotel to keep it comfortable. Well, and so I wake up in the middle of the night and it'd be like 40 degrees. I'd be like literally like hypothermia. And the healing journey is very much like this concept of, even if you go from like, okay, honey, let's do the tiny home thing. And then whether you want to build one, you want to buy one, whatever, you're like, oh, I want this way. But invariably, you'll want all this extra shit you really don't need, first of all. Secondly, if you go really minimalistic, then you find that you need others too, like to plug in, or at least you need to be able to, like, you'd only be so far away from civilization for so long because you need propane to run it, or you got a power bank or whatever. It only lasts so long, and you only got so much fridge and freezer space, So then it's a constant state of renewal. And it's a cool concept. I've thought of a couple ways to do it, and have a business out of it too. But overall, the weird thing about it, if you don't do it right, you'll probably spend about as much money. I mean, unless you really cut down, you'll spend more than you think, But it's good to cut the clutter in our lives. At the same time as the benefits of having the space is, well, shit, I got this house, it's too big, and I have like an entire basement. I could rent it out. I could so make it a studio for a band, a practice place, or, and you can make money in other ways, or an extra room, and be like, all right, well, now it's me, my painting studio. And you can change things really quickly, or take up a little bit extra space rather than when you have a tiny home, say, even if, okay, so your thing is doing outdoor paintings, like, you park at some lookout, set up your easel, and that's what you do for a living, which is cool. I suck at painting, but my paintings, I mean, sooner or later, they'll be out there, I suppose. But it was my journey of learning how to paint. um, from a child's eye view of an expert at, what are we doing here? I don't know. Let's see what we can come up, what we can mess up. But even like that, then okay, so how many canvases can you really fit in your tiny home? You know, depending on how small it is. And then all of a sudden, like, okay, so I need space for, say, 10 canvases and my paints, which doesn't, you have something like a little bag and have it all in fairly small space, But all of a sudden, every little hobby you have, just like, damn, that like took up a block, a cubit of space. And then it's less about like how I've been very limited, for instance, in my tarot decks. But I have enough to cover most everything. But I'd like to have a bunch of oracle cards. Now, like, 'cause once you have a tarot deck, well, you got a tarot deck. I mean, there's varieties, and but it's, I don't know, it's something that's locked into place at the same time as, well, the variety in between cards and decks makes all the difference. But oracle cards, it can be literally anything, and it's kind of smudged. It's cleaned of the archetypes, of King of Wands or Seven of Swords or whatever the case may be. And the healing journey is really a lot like that. Only all the things one's dealing with is their emotions, your needs, day to day, and moving forward in one's life. And having something to wake up every day to enjoy doing that also gives back and ultimately also provides everything you need to make it so, however big your tiny home is, it's just really here, but you just needed one room for everything. Whether you gotta sit outside like you're camping every time you cook a meal. And so you have to have enough little charcoal things, or you have to have a propane tank. Really how to do things the most efficient way, and at the same time, another person go, I don't have anything I can cook with in here. And then to almost make it a challenge to have less and more at the same time. Tigger, it's not time yet. She got fed too early by like 2 hours. And so now her routine's all out of space. Now she thinks for the next 5 hours that she missed breakfast. Well, let's see, before I head out, what the reading's going to be like. Oh, and for what it's worth, who knows? It might be temporary, might be for long term. So that's what I get for saying that I'm Mommy Mayday. I got all those face products and shit. I got some mixed in it. It was some like eyeshadow. I'm like, okay, this can go in the bin of stuff that's going to donations. Got some mascara, but it's all dried up and like good, and more stuff to clean out of Mom's. Like throw it away too. She gave me like a water pick, which I just brush my teeth. I don't use it. I don't even fucking plug it in and all this other shit. But also in light of, the little dental problem I still have, and this one healing, whatever, it's kind of handy. So I'm like, well, I'll use it till it breaks. And so I got all these beauty products, like hundreds of bottles, like a lot. Then, while we're going through, she had all these cases, and this is only half of them. I gave the other half to my niece and my sister. So now, as I'm getting ready to pack up or whatever, and whenever, for whatever reason, in the future, whether I stay with, it's always on the moment with tarot or whatever or not, which it's something that I enjoy. It's creativity. And it does shed a light on ourselves, She gave me, I have all my decks in cases now. Before I had them all stacked in a pile on top of each other. And then recently when I reorganized them, I had them all spaced. So then but I only have so much space to work with. And I hate dealing with the boxes. And the boxes aren't very durable if you're going to be shuffling them around or whatever. And so I have them all in these cases. And I don't know which ones are in which cases. So that's another element of surprise and such. See, I guess I'll show them to you real quick. So we got this one. It's got some vampire lips on it and teeth. It's kind of cool. Because the light's so bright, you can't tell. It's actually got a lime green inside, like tongue inside the mouth. And the rest is black and white. And you got this cute little case. Mommy made it. It's got her cases. It's a soft case. We got this one. It's like a plastic. And this one, I saw this side. I was like, oh, cool, it's got the heart on it. And I saw like the moon. But then I was like, oh, this is a cool astrological one. Then I'm like, oh, it's got like mascara, a compact, some lips, lipstick. Oh, but then I turn around and it says, "You're magic." Sun and moon, or star and moon here. You got this one. It's like I don't know, an old style one with a clip. I believe I put the Divine Feminine deck in this one. Yes, I did. Here she is. This one with the studs. What's that say? This is the 100th Ipsy glam bag. Let's see. We got this one. It's almost kind of like leather. It might actually be leather, but I think it's a fake leather. But it's still nice. We got this one. It's all plastic and waterproof. So we got my Angels and Oracles deck in it. We got this one. It's like the imitation snake print or whatever. Reptile look. I like the Divine Feminine deck. I think this is the only other one that has a clip on it. I mean a button. We got this one. It's like a painter's bag. It's all like thick cloth, like a burlap or whatever. And this one, right away I saw this side, and I'm like, it's not too girly of a cover, because some of these, you should have seen some of the other ones up. I'm like, yeah, that one's girly. No, I don't know, it's not quite my style. It's too much. But I saw this one, I'm like, there's something I really like about this bag. I turn around, it's the only one that has a zodiac on it. It's the last one, or the constellations. I didn't even notice this till today. It has a little fake plastic crystal up here. Ain't that cute? Then we got this one. It's like a leather feel. It's got red mask. Then we got this one here. This one's got a starfish. And then the last one here, it's like a golden. It says, "Stay golden." So yeah, I have a case to put them in, But this is handy too, and probably easier in a way. And like I said, I don't like dealing boxes. And now I don't know which one's in which. So, oh, well, I guess we're going to start with I'm going to sum this up pretty quick now. I just want to one chat for a minute before we go put in some hard work. Got half my kitchen packed up today. It's 2 boxes, one of stuff that I probably never use. Like, I don't like mac and cheese unless it's Velveeta, like shells and cheese. Then I have like 6 boxes of that. I'm like, yeah, they can go back. I have a huge bag, like a Walmart sack, right? You know, but I have packages of rice in it, stacked like 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever, solid across the bottom, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, like, and so it's like a solid brick, like a foot wide, a foot square, just like that tall, you know. And what a pinto beans. I'm just like, man. So you go to commodities, and I don't use rice that much. If I do, well, you know, I like cooking for a family, or at least another person. Otherwise, as much as I like cooking, it kind of feels like it goes to waste. Like, if you have leftovers, and it's all great to get whatever you want, but unless somebody else is enjoying it with you, then it's kind of missing something. So we get the Heart Guardian before we head out. Love and let yourself be loved. Let's see. Let's go for the year magic. Oh, yes. Let's see. All right. Where? Moon. Tarot. Oh, shit. I'm not taking those. Give us 2 cards here, Spirit. Here's something the viewer might need to know. It might actually be useful to me before we head out. After we got love, we got the Queen of Cups. Know that you're the prize. I mean, I could sit here by myself and enjoy myself and be the prize. But what good is it without someone to share with? And it goes to waste. It goes with the hat. And so one shouldn't be afraid to share our abundance with others, because that's what makes everyone more comfortable with being who they are in public without, having to make a scene. Here's one more. Suddenly, normally, like I notice patterns, and actually we switch decks, different days, whatever, and suddenly certain cards start coming out like every day, like even like repeatedly. Like I'll use the same deck in 3 different readings at different spaces, and every time it'll be like, boom, these same 2 cards come out right next to each other. I'll even mix them in, and then 2 days later, I'll use that deck again and pull it up. And what? How did I pulled 4 cards, and it pulled those same 2 cards. It's doing that right now with that card that I put away. I was like, oh, that's on the bottom. I mixed it. I put it in the middle, mixed it around. Now it's on the top. But that wasn't the card I pulled. What made me think of it is the one that keeps coming out right now. And it makes sense because it's spring. We have the Ace of Pentacles. again. I think I got that yesterday. No, Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands is what keeps spring coming out. Because we're switching Pentacles. Wands is, like I was saying, like that at least in that reading, I mean, it can change. But that Ace of Wands, it's that magical hand holding on to the sprig. And that sprig casts its magic at the same time as, like, its magic is the fact that it keeps growing back. Like, it can't be cut off. That's the rebirth, That's spring. That's, I broke my leg, but it'll heal. I broke that record. Yeah, but the record will heal. And somebody else, I mean, it'll be a time and a place for someone else to try to beat that on that same course, same conditions, different conditions. Maybe with more limitations. And so, the Ace of Pentacles. I see abundance coming for everyone. I like this. I didn't see this at first. It's the Heart Guardian, but she's got this giant rose on her shoulder. Mother and roses. My mother's got a couple rose bushes, but they're kind of in a bad spot on the house, and I don't know. They need to be a little bit more in the shade. They get too much sun. And my mom's. Let's get one more card. Oh yeah, what we got here? Alright. Spirit, give our viewer what they can look forward to later on today. It says, no holds barred. There ain't no fucking rules. Anything can happen today. I pulled out the one card in this deck, the Lord of the Rings deck. It tells you how to play the Lord of the Rings tarot card game. But it came out in reverse. Ain't no rules. I want to look up these two cards. I don't normally use this deck, and it is very unique. Let's go beyond. Let's try to sum this up here. So we got the Six of Swords, and we got the Chariot. But let's see here. Because each of these cards also gives a place in the Lord of the Rings story portrayed, while having some other symbols and things on them. And they didn't both come out upright. So pardon me while I try to figure out how to use the book. Right. It shows that all our viewers are sailing away from negative and limiting conditions. The Six of Swords. Bilbo and his dwarf friends used barrels to escape from the elves. They hid in the wine casks and floated down the river. It reminds us that a retreat is but one step out. Stop! Not right now, dear. Give me 2 minutes. And I'm still not going to feed you in 2 minutes. You still got to wait 3 hours. But one step back out of the situation is actually the way ahead. And we have this chariot reminding us it came in reverse, which, going with, I'll allude to here, this chariot. Both the cards have the sun symbol up here, so that's positive. I believe it's going to be a nice sunny day today. And this chariot says, Theoden concentrates all his power and charges the orc army. And the other one said, yeah, the negativity is clearing. And did a simple step back. Is going to slingshot forward. And chariot here shows putting everything into it. But it came in reverse. Yeah, just floating down the river in the barrels. Where it says, focus all your resources on attaining what is most important, one step at a time. Pull together disparate forces to create a semblance of order. Discipline, especially self-discipline. In reverse, it reminds us to think about this aspect of being unable to finish anything. But that's not necessarily a negative thing, because anything that's finished is dead. The moment it's finished, okay, junk. Or no reason to ever go back to that. And today, I'm working on the renewal at my mother's house and healing just what we have as a family, as individuals. It'll make her feel better, make me feel better, make everyone feel better. And in the end, nothing really changed, but it's soothing for the soul. And at the same time, yeah, well, I can't finish anything there because, well, it's not my place to finish it. And they're going to have to live there in the future. So it's not like we're packing up our house to leave. It's not about creating a new house. There's all this extra. It can go any direction. And it's more about renewal. So I hope today is a wonderful day of renewal for everyone. I send that to you.